Yo, welcome to another episode of the Culturally Controversial Podcast. I'm your host, Simply Nicholas87, and my co-host, Ty H.
Good evening to you, good folks.
Good evening, man, and welcome to the regular season finale of the recap preview. This is just for the regular season. We will be back next week, probably earlier, for the coaches show. We did one last year with both Jackson and Coach
Coach,
Harris.
yeah.
Yes. And we tend to do that again this year. But all the new people out there.
You got in contact with them?
Yes. I
Wonderful.
hit the wrap up. And I talked to Ant too, so we good to go.
Wow. All right.
But yeah, that's the time of the year when we do this, man. 2 years in a row. I like it.
2 years.
2 years
Yep.
in a row. All right, let me set this up. Okay. Anyway, appreciate all the new subscribers out there. For the people that are watching that hadn't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, man. Don't waste your time. You ain't got to type in the search bar all the time. Just hit the subscribe button. And then once you hit the subscribe button, there's a little bell over there in the top right corner. Hit that to all. That way you don't have to type and look for us at 8 p.m. It'll automatically just pop up on your phone. So why not? I'm getting all my ads out the way. And also, man, get you a t-shirt. If you want the fresh merch in the game, go to moneyfreshclothing.bigcartel.com. Get you a nice CCP t-shirt or Who Has the Heat t-shirt. One of the two. Just go support the guy. Please go support Money Fresh Clothing. All right. All the ads out the way now. We're gonna save the best for later in the show. As far as the decision, as y'all see in the title.
Yes, and explain that to the folks who may not know what we're talking about.
Well, the decision is basically Mr. Ty H here has a two-way dilemma for tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
His beloved Bearcats are playing home at homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
And his beloved UNC 49ers are playing at home tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
This is why it's called a decision, because we just want to know where you're going to be. But we ain't going to get into that right now.
Right.
Keep y'all
Because I regularly attend both of them's games, so I have a big decision to make, and by the end of the show, a decision will be made.
A decision will be made. So you guys stay tuned for that decision. I wish I had my poll so I could put it up there. Which way do you think he's going to go? But we'll get into that later. But tonight, we're going to go back and recap. I think we missed it was 2 weeks. We definitely missed 2 weeks from Monroe, and last week at West Stanley.
I'm down both of them, so
The Monroe game. I know a lot of people look at the scoreboard and say, they got him again. But if you, like somebody I seen said, the scoreboard doesn't tell the whole story of that game.
no.
It was a tale of two halves. But I'll let you explain that.
I was there. As far as Anson's concerned, Anson moved the ball without a lot of resistance. Anson's defense was opportunistic, was able to get off the field. The story of that game was turnovers. First half of the game, first turnover was on a punt return where we muffed the punt. We were 7-0 at the time. That allowed the game to be tied at 7-7. The subsequent drive on a fourth down conversion, Mr. Griffin took off for about 60 yards, scored a touchdown, put us up 14-7. Monroe came back down, tied the game up, and we went for it on another fourth down on like a 4th and 8, and we were unable to convert that one. Led to subsequent Monroe touchdown to put us down 20-14 at halftime. A lot of people were critical of us going for it on that 4th and long when the game was tied and we were on negative territory in the field. I take a different stance on that. I understand why Jackson did it. I get it. At the time, you're a heavy underdog. You're under the impression that it's going to take an extra possession or an extra play to win the game. And the thing is, there have been many times where we may have punted the ball, we felt like we should have gone for it, and we throw out the allegation of not being confident in your team or not having any guts or whatever the case may be. And in this case, he was aggressive and was coaching to win the game. And I'm not going to crucify a man for being aggressive trying to win the game. So, I mean, that happened. That's not where the game was lost. It was a 20-14 game at halftime. We received the ball on the ensuing kickoff in the second half. We were marching down the field. We had gotten in plus territory, roughly around the 45-yard line or so. And we were marching at will. They weren't stopping us at all. We were methodically running the ball downfield. And unfortunately, there was a bad exchange somewhere between the center QB exchange and the handoff to the running back. Somewhere at that mesh point, the ball came loose, and Monroe picked it up and ran it back for a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
That made it a 26-14 game, put us down 2 scores. The ensuing drive, we marched the ball down the field again and got about to the same field position. We were in plus territory again, down to about the 40, 45-yard line, and then we fumbled it again. Monroe went on off of that turnover to score another touchdown to go up 32-14. So if you're keeping track, that's 3 touchdowns that were set up directly by turnovers. One was on the turnover. So that's that made the game 32-14 going into the fourth quarter. In the fourth quarter, the game kind of snowballed. We were trying to play catch up, end up turning over some pick sixes, and the game got out of hand. So, and you see the final score 53-14. However, that was a competitive game midway through the third quarter, and it was more about us shooting ourselves in the foot. Monroe's an outstanding team. Coach Johnny Saul is an outstanding coach. You can't do anything to help Monroe out. Monroe's already a tall order in their own right. So when we talked about this before the game, we said the 2 things that we said: we're going to have to tackle well in space, and we cannot have silly penalties. I saw at one point where we had to burn a timeout because we didn't have the 11th guy on the field. We said we had to play a clean game in order to have a chance. When we were playing a clean game, we were in the game, and when the game got dirty, that's when the game got lost. Not really much more to say about the game. Monroe's an outstanding team, but and they beat us fair and square. But we had a lot of our own self-destructing factors in that game that helped Monroe out a lot too. So to me, what I learned about that game is when we play a clean game, we can play with anybody. But at the same time, when we get sloppy and when we have self-inflicted wounds, we can lose to anybody as well. So that was my takeaway from that. I think I would think it's a learning experience for the guys because that's an elite team, and if you want to be amongst the elite, you got to beat the elite. And that was a good litmus test to see where we stood. What we know is when we're focused, we can play and compete with anybody. But we also margin of error is very thin. And if we're not focused and if we're not clean, if we play sloppy football, you can succumb and the game can get away from you quickly. So I think that's the biggest takeaway from that particular game.
Okay. Moving on. I'll say I agree with you on the Monroe game. By the way, is the tail, like I said, with the tail of 2 halves. First half, I don't think you could have played any better than you need to play. I mean, the aggressive play calling, the good 60-some yard run by Jazeer. By the way, I seen a post by his father today, if I'm not mistaken. He's in the top 20 in rushing in this area.
Yeah, he's over 1,000 yards.
Yeah, he's a 1,000-yard rusher. So, congratulations to him on being a 1,000-yard rusher. So, that's a plus, young man. But yeah, like you said, if they can put it together like they did that first half and put it in 4 quarters, they can compete with anybody. I mean, just anybody. All right. Going on to the West End game. Anson did came victorious in that one, 22-15. I think I'm right, 15. 14. Okay, 22-14. From that game, I did watch it. I wasn't there, but you were there. I did watch it.
Sluggish start.
Yeah, they run the ball very well. They ran the ball with authority.
I said West End was methodical.
Yeah. So it's one of those I don't know what the word you look like. It's one of those just pounded out games.
You know, it was a workman type win. And what I mean that what West Stanley was trying to do, West Stanley they try to play possession football. They want to hold on to the ball in a similar vein like a Mount Pleasant, and they want to hold on to it as long as they can and keep you off the field. You got to realize Anson has explosive playmakers, and what West Stanley's trying to do is keep those playmakers off the field. And West Stanley, they run a lot of triple option concepts, but they do it from the spread formation from the shotgun. And what they want to do is pick up 4 yards here, 5 yards here, 3 yards here, and just keep moving the chains. And yeah, and in the first half, they did what they wanted to do, textbook. That first series of the drive, it was like a death by 10,000 paper cuts. They were just chipping away, first down. Chip away, first down. They ran off nearly 8 or 9 minutes off that clock and capped it off with a touchdown and converted a 2-point conversion to go up 8-0.
Mm-hmm.
On our next possession, we actually did not score. We ended up having a solid drive, but it stalled out. We punted it to them again. West Stanley again continued to grind it, but we were able to stall the drive out. There was a 4th down near midfield, and it was like 4th and 3, and surprisingly, they decided to punt it, which was a surprise to me, given that they were getting 4 yards per carry, but they decided to punt the ball and be conservative. When we got the ball that time, we were able to engineer a touchdown scoring drive. It was a beautiful pass to from Luke Hyatt to a wide open Kendrick May in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. Mm-hmm. And we also Luke Hyatt ran a quarterback draw for the 2-point conversion, tied the game up 8-8. I thought we were at that point ready to roll. Our defense was still having a little issues with those triple option concepts. We were freezing. Our linebackers were freezing a little bit, and they were still picking up 4 yards here, 5 yards there, and ultimately they scored again. But we were able to stop the 2-point conversion. They went into the half up 14-8. West Stanley did. Mm-hmm. In that second half, Anson came out and opening drive of the second half, scored a touchdown, went up 15-14. On the next drive, we forced a turnover. It was I can't remember, the linebacker just snatched the ball out of the running back's hand, and we had a great opportunity to score another touchdown. We had the gentleman receiver, really fast kid, Jaden Little. But the ball accepted on an underthrow. That hurt. Then they got the ball back again and ran some time off, but fortunately we were able to stall the drive out and prevent them from scoring. We ended up Jazeera ended up breaking one. We'll say late fourth quarter, maybe 5 minutes left. He broke a run to put us up to 15. When West Stanley got the ball back, they were driving. They had another long methodical drive. But on 4th down, with about a minute left, we stopped them on 4th and 3. And then it appeared that we had the game sewn up. They had one timeout left, so on 1st down, we handed the ball off. Unfortunately, we fumbled the ball on the first play. Running back was fighting for extra yards. And I get it. That's the running back's instinct to fight for extra yards. But in that particular scenario where a team only has one timeout left and there's less than 2 minutes left in the game, at that point, the clock is your friend, and at that point, you want to get to the ground. You'd already gotten 5 or 6 yards. Another first down would have ended the game anyway. We fumbled the ball, but our defense stood up again, held them to 4 and out, and we ended up holding on to win the game, 22-14. That puts us at 3-1 in conference play. We won 5 out of our last 6 games, and we have a showdown tomorrow against a longtime rival for us, the Yellow Jackets, and that game will be for 2nd place in the conference.
What is the magnification? I just want to ask you this. What is at stake tomorrow, really? Like this, as far as
for one, we know that we're in the playoffs just based on where the other teams in our classification stand right now. We know we're in the playoffs. What's that ramification? Our conference takes 2 automatic bids to the playoffs, and then anybody else to get in will be wild card status. So right. if we win tomorrow, we finish 2nd place in the conference, and that would give us seeding priority. So this is how seeding priority works. Mm-hmm. The number 1 seeds, which means every conference champion, and if a team that finished tied in the conference, the team with the head-to-head tiebreaker is the number 1 team in the conference, and when there's a tie. Well, all the number 1 teams in their conference get seeded first, and then they seed them. They first take the number 1s, and then they look at their RPI, and then they seed them accordingly.
Coach Harris in the building. What's going on, man?
And then secondly, then after that, the number twos get seeded, and then the number threes get seeded. Our conference only having 16s doesn't get 3 bids. We only get 2 automatic playoff bids. I'm with you, Anthony. And being a number 2, that gives a strong possibility of getting a home playoff game. Furthermore, we have a strong RPI. Right now, our RPI is 20th in all of Class 2A. Right now, Forest Hill has number 1 RPI. So if we beat them tomorrow, I would imagine that we would rise up the RPI rankings and would be number 2 in the conference and have a great chance of having a home playoff game if that happened. If we lose the game, we're still a playoff team, but more than likely we'll be going on the road because we'll be a wild card seed, which that means we would have the lowest seeding priority because we'll be seeded after all the automatic bids from each conference get seeded. So
right.
A big ramifications tomorrow for both teams.
Right. And to me, winning 5 out of the last 6, great way to finish the stretch of your season. I mean, like we've been talking about, we started off 0-3 and come back after the Almar game and after the bye week and just catch things.
After the bye week, they've looked like a completely different football team. After the bye week, it seems like there's been a different level of focus. Furthermore, it seemed like they found an offensive identity after the bye week. It was like, and most importantly, the offensive line played much better. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
I still have concern about depth because we got a heck of a lot of guys playing both sides. And most of them are your playmakers. That worry me because defensively, sometimes we struggle to get off the field. Even if we're not giving a lot of points up, sometimes we struggle to get off the field. And when we're not getting off the field, even if we're not giving up a lot of points, we're still keeping our offense off the field, which is taking away opportunities for us to score. Because we struggled to get off the field against West Stanley, but fortunately we stood up when we needed to and was able to still come out of that victorious. We even against Piedmont, we struggled to get off the field at times, and we ended up winning the game 28-14. But that was a game that could have been won by a much bigger margin had we been able to get off the field. So especially when we're playing against teams that want to run it downhill. When we're playing against, I feel more comfortable against speed-based teams because we have the athletes to match the speed with a speed-based team. Teams that want to get on the perimeter, we actually match up well with them. It's those teams that have those wing T-type concepts that worry me because they have the big guys up front and they just want to run it at us and get physical with us when we're more of a team that want to get athletes out on the perimeter and get guys in the open field. So that's why matchups matter. And when we're playing against a team that wants to play possession football, it worries me sometimes that we struggle to get off the field. But as far as our offense has a rhythm. Coach Hyde has done a heck of a job with play calling since we've been back from the bye week. Of course, there's some execution things, but I mean, here and there, some missed time here and there, maybe a late throw here and there, a drop here and there. But overall, the offense is exponentially improved. And I feel like we have a formula. Pound the ball with Jazir Griffin, gash him with Kendrick May. And when they want to creep up on the line of scrimmage, send Jaden Little downfield and dare them to keep up with him. Yep. And occasionally, when they key in on all you guys in the backfield, Luke himself has been an effective runner in his own right. So right now, I mean, the offense is solid. I just need the defense to tackle a little bit better.
That's it.
That's the only thing that worries me. We just got to tackle a little better.
Those tackles. Making those tackles, that's the key. I like the ramifications. As far as I don't know how they're gonna do the seeding, but what is the highest possibility that you think they will get if they win tomorrow?
Maybe like 10 or 11.
Which will get you like maybe a home, maybe 1 or 2 home playoffs.
Get your home game,
yeah.
That's if you win.
Yeah, if you win.
If you lose, you'll be around the area you're projected to be at now.
About 20, 24.
If we lose, I don't want to lose, but if we lose, end up being like a 20 or 21 or something like that. I'm going to say it here, and I'm going to say it out loud. I want some of North Stanley again. We'll go back up to that raggedy stadium in New London and beat the crap out of them like we should have done the first game of the season. I want some of North Stanley. We didn't have no business losing to them in the first game of the season. I think we have a more talented football team. They play at Gatkin Valley, so yeah, they can run their record up. So if North Stanley beats Albemarle tomorrow, and we and we don't get the season that we want, I would love an opportunity to go back up there to New London. And since they began their season with a victory over us, I want to end their season with a loss to us. Because I know in my heart of hearts, if we went up to North Stanley again, we beat them. We wouldn't have anywhere to sit because their Ragged Stadium got condemned a couple of weeks later. But I'll stand up and watch it happen. So yes, North Stanley, I'm talking to you. If it works out that way, I want some of you again. But hopefully we'll win tomorrow. We don't even have to worry about you. But if we meet again, if fate has it to where we see each other in the playoffs again, we're going to send you home, and then you can worry about building a new stadium sooner.
You know what? And I'm like you. Fate be it. If we lose tomorrow, I really like our chances on the road.
I like our chances anywhere.
Anywhere. It's proven this year. We've been a road winning team.
Yeah, and we're 0-3 at home. I want to get one home win.
Yeah, I want to get one home win, but those road wins are, to me, this is my opinion. I mean, all wins are important. Those road wins, I think they especially going into somebody else's territory and taking the building.
I think they've embraced the us against the world mentality, and I think they feed off of that. Like, because you got to realize we went on a homecoming tour where we spoiled 3 homecomings in a row.
Yeah.
And I think they feed off of that. I think when they put those white jerseys on, and if they do go on the road, wear the all white. They win more when they have the all white on, the white pants and the white shirts. Don't put those orange pants on anymore.
Statistically, look at it in the conference, I feel like we are the better road team, minus Monroe. We are the better road team when it comes to playing away games.
Yeah,
I know Forest Hill lost on. No, they lost it. No, they lost on the road.
Yeah, there's also one model that projects where if we lose tomorrow, where we would go to Marshfield and play Forest Hill for a rematch the next week. There's one model that happened.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
They would know. I remember years ago that happened with us in Marvin Ridge where we beat Marvin Ridge 42-0
at the end of the season. Yep.
Yeah. And then the next week they came back to us again, and we barely beat them in a dogfight.
Yeah, I remember that. That was 2006 or 7.
2007, yeah.
Yeah.
And because in that game, Patrick Polk broke his ankle.
Yep.
And so in that playoff game, the late great Nick Falls, God rest his soul, was starting running back in that game, and God rest Nick's soul. But Nick wasn't the explosive runner that Patrick Polk was, and so yeah. But the good thing that year we got to third round playoffs with Nick being the primary ball carrier. So I'm going to look up to the heavens and say, Nick Falls, if you're looking down on me, buddy, we ain't forgot about you.
Yeah, about you, buddy.
That's a heck of a time. RP Nick Falls, but that was a heck of a time.
Yeah. I like I said, I like it's not if we play either one of those teams, I'm excited. North Stanley or Forest Hills.
Hey,
I think a rematch has so much more than meeting a new opponent.
Yeah, and be honest with you, at this point in the season, it's not about who you play; it's about how you play.
How you play. There you go.
North
Stanley might have thought we played. They may not get that same team that you got game 1. You definitely not getting the same team you got game 1.
I mean, first of all, we're more talented team than North Stanley. I want to make that clear. We lost to Stanley because I've said this before, and I'm sure Ralph will admit this. We lost that game due to poor game management. I mean, point blank period. We got bad calls in that game, but we lost that game due to poor game management. Our game management is much better now than it was then. And I think that we would beat North Stanley. I'm not saying that we beat them 40-0, anything like that, but I still think that we'll come out victorious if we play them again. But right now, like Ralph told me at Pageland after the game was over, right now he's not worried about who the opponent is. He puts his focus on what we're doing and make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do. And right now, we're 5 out of the last 6 weeks. We've done what we're supposed to do, and we've taken care of business.
Yeah.
And I look for that trend to continue.
I look for it to continue too. And I'll say this: if they get I will speak on that. Forest Hills, and we seen this, and I say this: it doesn't matter. It's a loss is a loss, right?
Yeah.
They weren't able to put any points up against Monroe.
They sure were not.
We were.
Yeah, well, with Forest Hill, you want to get physical with them. You want to get physical with them. And you want to push the line of scrimmage. Forest Hill wants to get on the perimeter, and they want to run their quarterback. So I mean, that's where you got to get in the dirt and get physical.
Yeah,
If you get in the dirt and get physical with them, we'll be able to play with them.
absolutely.
Ultimately, we got to execute. Ultimately, we can't have silly turnovers. Ultimately, we got to get lined up. We can't be getting silly penalties. We can't be getting delay of game penalties. We can't be running out there with 10 men on the field and at the last second have 2 men running out there or have 9 guys on the field and then the 10th and 11th man running out the last second. That got to stop. That's been inexcusable from the start.
Right.
And I'm not going to get into that because I get mad talking about it. But that should be no more at this point in the season.
I say this. If anybody that's watching that's on the team or coaches or anything, tomorrow is week 0 of the playoffs.
I look at it the same way.
Week 0 playoffs. This is playoffs.
The last 2 weeks have been our playoffs.
Yeah,
exactly. Every game has been a must win for us the last few weeks.
We're 5-1 coming into this game.
Since the bye, 5-1 since the bye week. I mean 5-1 since that 0-3 start. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been able to put string some wins. I don't care how a win looks. If you got more points than your opponent, that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Man, I don't care. We win 14-13. Long we win.
Long we win. It's the win is regard. It's gonna push what we need to be, especially with that RPI, and they're ranked number 2 in RPI. So if you knock them off, then that says a lot about this hype about Forest Hills. Yeah, they got a decent quarterback. I'm not gonna say good quarterback. They got exposed. And they played teams like we played. We played the same teams. It just shows that, when it comes to a physical game, I don't think they can hold up.
Funny thing about it, man, if you look at who all we lost to, North Stanley is 7-2, Sun Valley is 7-2, North Moran is 8-1, and Monroe is 8-1.
So before you finish, I want to go back to for that Sun Valley. I told you they're gonna be a decent team this year.
True.
At the beginning of the season, but go ahead.
And I'll repeat what I was starting to say. If North Stanley is 7-2, Sun Valley is 7-2, North Moran is 8-1, and Monroe is 8-1. Those are the 4 teams we lost to. Granted, I thought, especially against North Moran, I felt like we just didn't come out to play. And if we would have played the first half like we played the second half, we'd have won the game with no problem. Nevertheless, we lost the game. Sun Valley, we played toe-to-toe with them for 3 quarters, and then the game avalanched on us in the 4th. North Stanley, we led in halftime of the game. We just blew that game. Those 3 of those games, I felt definitively like we should have won. The Monroe game, we were in the game and made some crucial mistakes at the wrong time, and it avalanched on us. The point I'm making is we're 5-4, but if you look at our strength of schedule, it's not like we were going up against beat ups. We played some quality teams this year, and we've lost to some solid teams. It's just that some of those games I felt like we may have shouldn't have lost, but nevertheless, we're battle tested. So I mean, it's not like we haven't seen competition. Forest Hill played some of the same teams too, and throughout the year they've been a little bit better, which is why they're 8-1 and we're 5-4. But nevertheless, we're starting to hit our stride. We've won 5 out of our last 6, and now we're playing winning football. And I think we had a great litmus test against Monroe. First, we saw that we could compete, and unfortunately, you have to play both halves. In the second half, we shot ourselves in the foot one too many times, and it led to the game snowballing on us. But the point I'm making is we've now seen what it takes to compete with the elite, and seen that we have the tools to compete with the elite if we play a clean football game. That leads me to tomorrow. If we play a clean football game, I think, and I honestly believe we can win that football game. It's like I said, you're going to have to tackle well. You're going to have to avoid critical penalties. You're going to have to avoid turnovers. But if you can play a clean football game, I think that can be an even matchup that can go right down to the wire and be anybody's football game.
And Ant makes a good point too. The strength of schedule helps the RPI.
Absolutely. But they look at your winning percentage, your opponent's winning percentage, and your opponent's wins.
So that's gonna factor in a lot. So I like our chances. I just, like I said, I like our chance. I said in the Monroe game, I like that this game is gonna be a lot closer than a lot of people thought it would be. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's gonna be over by halftime."
It was 20-14 at halftime. We had a meltdown in the third quarter, and that was on us.
Yeah, it was on us.
Monroe
didn't beat Anson. Anson beat Anson.
Right. Don't get me wrong. Monroe's a good team. I mean,
Yeah, they got a good team. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But we made the mistakes, and they capitalized off of it, and that's what good teams do. So
Anthony makes a good point from last year. He said, if you can put that up there, yeah, he said he wants us to get East Surrey back. You know what's so crazy about that? Last year when we went into that game against East Surrey, we were just on a downward spiral. We were playing awful football. We had lost our identity. We had lost about 5 or 6 games in a row before beating a depleted West Stanley team at the end of the season to back into the playoffs. And we had no kind of offensive continuity going into that game. East Surrey is not quite as good as they were last year. They've lost a couple of games. I think if somehow we met East Surrey, I think that East Surrey would be in for a dogfight if we played them this time. Right now, we're much better offensively. East Surrey is not quite the team they were last year. It could be like a AC Reynolds situation where 99, even though we were good and AC Reynolds was good, they beat us 17-0. Then we came back 2000 and then beat them 28-0.
return the favor.
So, if the opportunity presents itself, I'll be happy to witness that. I think this Hanson team has talent where they can compete with anyone they play against, so long as they play clean football. That's a big if. Got to play clean football.
And let me say this because this is gonna blow your mind. Pause. But this is gonna blow your mind statistically. Remember the last time that Anson County was, I want to say they were either 6-4 or 7-3.
Last time 7-3, we got barred from the playoffs because some BS that happened at the beginning of the season.
No, minus that. Minus that.
Last time they went at 7-3 in a 10-game season before then was in 2000 when they lost to Independence in the 4th round of the 4A playoffs.
That's what I'm getting at.
The 3 games they lost in the regular season, the 3 games they lost in the regular season that year were to Independence, Hope County, and Richmond Senior.
Mm-hmm.
And then lost to Independence again in the state regional final at Memorial Stadium in Charlotte.
And I think they were the 10th seed that year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but that was back when only 16 teams from the East and 16 from the West. And so and we were second in our conference that year. We finished in a 3-way tie for second place. Richmond Senior went undefeated and won the league, the Southeastern 4A. Anson County, Scotland County, and Hope County all went 4-2 in the league. Mm-hmm. And to break the tie, they had to draw for it because it was I beat you, you beat them, they beat me. So Hope beat Anson beat Scotland, and Scotland beat Hope. So there was no clear tiebreaker. It was I beat you, you beat them, they beat me. So they had to draw for it. The result of the drawing was that Anson came out number 2, Hope came out number 3, and Scotland got left at home because it was a 3-bid league. So Richmond Senior got the 1 seed out of the league, Anson got the 2 seed out of the league, and Hope County got the 3 seed out of the league, and Scotland went 7-3 and got left at home. Can you imagine the 7-3 team not making playoffs in this era? That would never happen in this era.
It never happened again. 16, you'll never see 16 teams again like that.
Yeah, but back in the day, years ago, Concord went 9-1 and missed the playoffs because the South Piedmont 3A that year they only had 5 teams, and so they only took 1 bid, so it was a 1-bid league. So only team to make the playoffs was conference champion. Kannapolis and Concord were both 9-0 going into the last game of the season. And Kannapolis beat Concord last game of the season to win the conference championship. Kannapolis ended up going to the playoffs, and Concord went 9-1 and missed the playoffs. That'll never happen.
That has to hurt.
Yep.
I mean, like compared to now, you got 0-10 teams making the playoffs. Don't know how. Don't ask me how.
That's in 1A where that's happened. That's because you don't have that many 1A teams. You only got like 60-something 1A teams, or like you only got like 70-something 1A teams. And so that's like one of the small, and 64 teams make the playoffs. So that means you only have like 8 teams that don't make the playoffs. So that's how a team in 1A can go 1-9 and get in. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It's very. But by 3A, like now I can see 3A being like, man,
yeah, 3A is large is the most populous classification. There are like 130-something 3A teams.
Yeah. So that's congratulations. That's the United 8 conference champions as well.
Yeah, 3A is the largest. When I say largest classification, I don't mean by size, but largest by membership. Like there are more 3A. They're the classification that has the most members out of all 4 classifications in North Carolina.
I would like to see what speaking
of Class 3A, when it comes to teams to look out to win the 3A state championship, I know that Coach Harris is sitting for his Falcons. I'll be one of the teams that them and West Charlotte will be amongst the teams to look out for come playoff time. It would not shock me if you see a state championship game between the 71st and West Charlotte. for a 3A title. That would I'd love to see that. But
I love to see. I feel like 71st is coming out the East, and I'm gonna stick to that because they honestly they dominated last year. They came down to that Northern Nash game, and I think it just came down to the.
And I think the 3A West is going to come down between West Charlotte and Chris for old time's sake. It's going to be like the old
boy rivals.
Corey Club, and 3A going to come down. I think on the west side between West Charlotte and Chris. I would love to see a West Charlotte versus Chris in the regional championship game.
But Chris got a tough cup to field tomorrow, but I think they can push it tomorrow. They got
the years tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I think that's gonna be probably the biggest game in the state.
Didn't West Charlotte lose to Kings Mountain in the third round of the playoffs last year?
Didn't I want to say they did. They did.
The West Charlotte and 71st was the last 4A championship played at a high school stadium. Wow. 4A championship game played at a high school stadium. Wow.
I know that.
Coach Harris educating me right now. Well, he's an educator, future principal. So, I mean, educate me, my brother.
Hey, look, I want to see 71st come out of the East and West Charlotte come out the West.
Hey, we got 71 reasons to keep up with the 3A playoffs. That's what I want.
Absolutely. And he already know I'm keeping up. If I can, and you know I will, I'm trying to make one of them games.
The Anson Senior Bearcat by way of Fayetteville State and Florida State.
Absolutely. But, yeah, and as far as 2A, it's so hard to say. I don't really know who's the favorite in 2A this year.
Well, I mean, the Golden Lions are always in the hunt, no matter what.
Right.
The Golden Lions are always in the hunt. The Reedsville Rams are going to always be in the hunt. Those are two teams that you know, whether they win it or not, are going to be in the hunt.
You said Richmond Raiders.
Reedsville Rams. They're going to always.
I thought I said. I said what? They going deer hunting.
Now Richmond is going to. It wouldn't shock me if Richmond Senior win like a first round playoff game, though. Since you mentioning that,
but they won in. Well, I know they like the non-conference.
Richmond's 4-1 in their conference.
Oh, okay. They didn't win the conference though.
Well, I mean, no. Pinecrest is undefeated in the league. And Scotland lost one game. Scotland's only loss is to Pinecrest. So right now, I think Pinecrest may have already clinched it outright. Clinched number one seed out their conference. But right now,
Scotland play tomorrow.
This game between Richmond Senior and Scotland County tomorrow night will be for the number 2 spot in that conference.
Okay.
Yeah, they're 4-1 in their league. They're like 4-5 right now.
Okay, I would say it's a real quiet year. I'm like, I don't know if I ain't been.
Let me make one thing clear. Those are not Richmond Senior standards. They're not at Richmond Senior standards, but I'm saying, but over the last 5 weeks or so, they've started to play a lot better football, and at this point, they're as far as their conference is concerned, they got an outside chance to get a home playoff game too. If they can win tomorrow.
Shout out to Coach Harris and the 71st Falcons for beating Richmond County like the dogs they are. But
shout out to Coach Terry Schenkel, who's instantly in year 1 has that South Stanley team playing competitive football. They've won at least 4 or 5 games, if I'm not mistaken. So shout out to Coach Schenkel, man. That team went 1-9 last year, and he already got that team competing. Shout out to Coach Schenkel. Shout out to our good friend. I'm about to respond to that statement Anthony just made because I'm not going to give them that excuse. They play a gauntlet non-conference every year, and back when they had good teams, they would still go 10-1, 11-0 with a gauntlet of a non-conference. So the fact they started 0-4 ain't no excuse because they always play a tough schedule. I remember they used to play Butler and West Charlotte and people like that all the time in non-conference. But anyway, back to what I was getting ready to say. Shout out to our good friend Coach Richard Davis as well. The Albemarle Bulldogs got to have an opportunity to win the conference championship tomorrow. They play North Stanley tomorrow. That game is for the Yadkin Valley Championship. Winner of that game will be the number 1 seed out the Yadkin Valley. After a horrendous start, to the season for the Albemarle Bulldogs, Coach Richard Davis got his guys believing. After that upset win a couple of weeks ago over the Mount Pleasant Tigers, Coach Richard Davis got those Albemarle Bulldogs believing. They're headed on the right track. If they be a little bit more patient with them, in a year or two, they might be back to being the old Albemarle Bulldogs. And yeah, Coach Harris, I'm tough because we're not going to make excuses for Richmond Senior. First of all, for anybody in Rockingham that's listening, yes, I know if Richmond Senior played us on the field right now, there's a good chance we would find a way to beat ourselves and they would beat us. That's not the point I'm making. The point that I'm making is that Richmond Senior is not at Richmond County standards. And to say that they played a tough schedule, Richmond County always played a tough schedule. They were always playing Cardinal Gibbons and playing Butler and playing Wake Forest and playing Southview and people like that. They've always played state championship contenders on their non-conference schedule, and they always came out with excellent records. Oftentimes 10-0, 9-1, 10-1, 11-1, 11-0. So, but the last 2 years, last year they went 5-5 in the regular season. This year they're either going 4-6 or 5-5. They're worse than they've been in the past. So, I mean, I don't want to hear the excuse about their gauntlet non-conference schedule because the schedule is no different than what they've been scheduling. So, no, I'm not being tough. I'm being real and being honest.
Well, we don't care for Richmond County that much.
I don't care for them at all. I don't like Forest Hill either, far that goes. But no, but I don't like Richmond County at all. And I wish them many years of bad luck. And when I said that, I don't mean that personally. I mean as far as bad luck, as far as wins and losses are concerned. Coach Brian Till is a liar. He's a dishonest man. He's not an honorable man. He deserves all the bad luck he gets until he loses his job. And my message to Forest Hills, we know it's a heated rivalry traditionally and all that. But remember, people out there, it's just a football game. We're going out there to watch kids enjoy the game. Let's not make anything personal. Let's not let things get out of hand. Let's just all go out there and come and enjoy a football game in peace. Like at the end of the day, most of us got family in Marshville and stuff in Wingate. It's all love, man. A lot of times, some of those kids are related to each other on each team. I want Anson to beat Forest Hill just bad. Forest Hill want the Yellow Jacks to beat the Bearcats. But at the end of the day, it's just a freaking football game. Nothing has to get personal. Nothing has to get ugly. Let's go out there and cheer for each other's team and may the best team win. It doesn't have to be anything ugly or out of hand. Let's just enjoy a good night of high school football.
Absolutely, I agree with that. Now there was a post. I don't know if you've seen it, but I definitely seen it earlier, probably about an hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
About something from their side of the camp saying that they were not allowed to warm
Before
up.
you say it, is there anything that that's dangerous?
No.
Oh, go ahead then. Okay.
No. I'm saying that they were saying that they weren't allowed to warm up on the field, and then the message was, "We'll see you at 7." I don't know what that's about, but it was a post on Facebook.
I don't have any information to confirm or deny that claim, so I don't have any comment on that. At the end of the day, I just want us to all go out there, have a good time, and enjoy a good night of football. And
homecoming, let's just enjoy it.
Yeah. So it's not about us; it's about those young men. And I want us to, from both sides, to go out there, have fun, and watch young men compete, and that's all I want to see. Nothing more. And I have no comment on or any about any speculative statement about what's being allowed or what restrictions that I know nothing about that. And quite frankly, I'm not interested in inquiring about it. I just want to see a good, safe night of young men competing on the football field.
And if y'all don't understand what he was saying, let me make it clear. Y'all keep the bull jive at the house. Don't bring it out there to that game. From either side. Not just theirs, ours too.
At the end of the day, it's about the kids. It's not about us.
There you go.
Here's the thing, man. Football and all that, man, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see. It's beautiful to watch those kids compete, man. And I don't want anything to take away from those kids competing. So, and I think, and you know what? I got a feeling that all of us are just gonna go out there tomorrow and have a good time, and we're gonna enjoy watching those kids compete, and may the best team win.
Absolutely. Okay, since we covered football, Uno, what's going on, man? Appreciate you for popping in the building. I want to get into basketball because we tipped off the other night, and I'm still pissed off. I don't care how.
I didn't even watch the game, but I watched the Hornets game. I didn't watch the Lakers game.
Yeah, I'm listen. It's gonna be a long season. It's game 1, but we got time.
I would. Yeah, I mean, I'm not worried about the result of one game. I mean, they went into Denver for game 1 on the road at Denver. I mean, a very good Denver team that brought back the nucleus of a championship team. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, I'm shocked that the Lakers lost the first game of the season.
Oh, I'm not shocked. No, I'm just disappointed.
I mean, I'm disappointed anytime you lose a game, but
yeah,
it's not time to ring the alarm.
Yeah, I still don't think a person should go in the second half and not score a point.
Anthony Davis, yeah.
Well, that's the part I'm peed out about. I ain't worried about LeBron. LeBron gonna do what LeBron do. But if you the face of the team now, you can't go in the second half and not score a basket.
Yeah, and I'm not going to criticize LeBron anyway. You got to realize LeBron is almost 39 years old in his 21st year in the league, and still the face of a franchise. To me, that's remarkable. So
I ain't got no problem with that.
I know there are a lot of people out there who don't like LeBron James and want to criticize him and say this and that about him, but the fact that he's at a level to where there's so much centered around him, where people could even the fact that there's even a debate that if he's as good as people say he is at this age, to me is remarkable, and to me that validates how great he is. The fact that we have to even debate about him. So I mean, for I don't put any of this on LeBron James, given how long he's been leaguing at his age. The fact
no, absolutely not. I'm not putting it on him. I can't put it on him.
Right. Like at this point, I've never seen one that's been in their 21st year in the league even be a guy that you're that's even looked upon to be a go-to guy on the team. So to me, what LeBron James is doing is unprecedented. I've never seen anything like it, and it's nothing short of greatness.
Agreed.
And on the other hand, this is the story of who he is. There are times when he's aggressive. There are times when he's not. He's oft injured. He's wrapped up like a mummy. Speaking of Happy Halloween, he's always just taped up like a mummy, and he and Joel Embiid. I've never seen two guys that fall so much. Every time they block a shot, they gotta fall. Every time they get a rebound, they gotta fall. All that falling, and then he's always giving to get up, man.
I got a boo-boo.
In that stage of LeBron's career, you want it to be where everything needs to be built around Anthony Davis, but you can't trust him because
I agree. I agree. And I know it's early, but that was even if we lost, I feel like you should at least came out in the second half and still had a subpar or decent performance.
Yeah.
Regardless of a win or loss. If you can't just come out in 2 quarters and not score a basket.
That's Anthony Davis.
And that's just unacceptable. You going against probably arguably the greatest big man to play in the last couple of years. So and I feel like you should have matched the energy. But I mean, it is what it is on the game 2 tonight. Maybe we should take that because he'll have a team out in Phoenix. Phoenix.
Where?
LA.
I still
Booker's not playing and Bill's not playing.
What's wrong with Bradley Beal?
His back and Booker foot. They both out.
I wish they were playing. Lots of times the Lakers come out lackadaisical sometimes when the other team's star players not playing. So that makes me worry even more.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, you need to win that game at home, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. It's 10:30. I might be up to watch. I probably won't, but
I don't really get to watching games full throttle until about Christmas.
I got you. But the Hornets did pull out a big win last night.
I watched that game.
You watched it?
Yeah, I watched every bit of it. At least, I watched all the second half. I feel like that.
Okay.
I mean, their young nucleus has potential to be competitive, man. They might be a team if they can stay healthy. They might sneak into the playoffs.
And they say this too. Kristaps Porzingis loves making the Knicks fans cry. So I just put that out there.
Kristaps Porzingis is injury prone too, man. I didn't even know he was with the Celtics until I saw him in the preseason game the other day.
Neither, but he dropped 30 last night.
Yeah, but he'll be out for 6 weeks within a couple weeks.
And Julius Randle, please stop shooting threes.
Kristaps Porzingis is made of glass, man. Even when he was with the Knicks, when he was in Dallas, when he was in Washington, he was already on his 4th team because he can't stay healthy.
And Julius Randle, please stop shooting threes.
Julius Randle is a good player, but he's an inefficient player. I'm gonna tell you what, if Lamar Odom and Zach Randolph had a baby, it would be Julius Randle. Julius Randle is a mix of Lamar Odom and Zach Randolph. He's left-handed like both of them. He handles the ball like Lamar Odom, but he's a physical banger like Zach Randolph. But sometimes he's not a guy that you could build around. He's like a second or third option. And as long as he's the Knicks' best player, the Knicks are not going to be a championship team if Julius Randle's the top guy. Julius Randle is a guy, his shot selection is not the best, and a lot of times he's inefficient because he jack up a lot of bad shots at times. He's not a smooth, fluid player.
TJ Prime in the building.
He's a guy that could be a key to could be one of the cogs, but you can't make him the guy and expect to be in the elite team.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He's sloppy. He's a former Laker. I like Julius Randle,
I
but
like the Lamar Odom statement. It just made me think of something back in the day on First Take.
He reminds me of Lamar because Julius Randle is not a good finisher. Lamar Odom wasn't a good finisher, especially like position of attacking the rim. Neither one of them were good finishers, but he has the power of Zach Randolph, but the handle of Lamar Odom.
I always think about Lamar Odom when that time Stephen A. Smith said Phil Jackson signed Lamar Odom, who was on crack. I thought
that's not funny, man.
It's not funny, but
I'm glad after what happened with Lamar, man. I'm hoping that Lamar's in a better place in life and doing well for himself. I'm glad that he survived that experience because that could have been it for him. And to see him looking like he's back, I'm happy that he overcame that, man. I wish nothing but good things for Lamar J. Odom.
I'm not even gonna get into Dwight Howard, so we're gonna leave that alone.
I'm not talking about that.
I'm not getting into that.
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot rod. That's in today's society. I'm leaving that alone. Just
I'll leave it alone.
We all read about.
I might talk about behind the scenes.
No. We read about it, and if anybody got questions about it, go read it. I ain't got nothing to do with that. I ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole.
No, we'll talk about that out there. I can't talk about it.
I don't even want nobody to record me talking about that. Period.
You're right.
That article, there it is.
Hey man.
Anybody that want to know, go Google it. But I ain't got nothing to do with it.
Yeah, and we're not being funny. It's a court. It's court document, so that they're legal. They're public record, so you can read it.
It's something that he admitted. You know what? I'm not here to tell people how to live their life, man.
So no. But you know, the art of surprise. Anyway, on to
let's move on to something else.
Move to another search. Anyway,
please.
Yeah, college football. And you say, and we know the 49ers, who are they playing tomorrow?
They're playing against FAU tomorrow. They're playing FAU tomorrow. Don't know if I'm going to be at the game or not, but they're playing FAU tomorrow, and that game's at 7:30 on ESPN2. So if anybody's at their home, they could tune in to ESPN2 and catch the Charlotte 49ers at home against the FAU Owls.
Used to be coached by Lane Kiffin, I think.
Yeah, that was like 5 years ago, but yeah.
Yeah. Where is Lane Kiffin now?
Ole Miss.
Okay.
He's the head coach at Ole Miss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's like Tom Herman
coaches FAU now. Tom Herman that used to coach Tom Herman that used to coach the Texas Longhorns got fired from Texas. He was the coach at Texas before Sarkisian. He's the head coach at FAU now.
Shout out to Sarkisian.
Hey, man, Sarkisian put that cup down and got the coaching.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, well, you know,
I like the fact that and I'm not being funny when I say this. I like the fact that when these good coordinators get head coaching jobs, it exposes those that don't get that credit. So, basically, what I'm saying is, Nick Saban got all the credit for Alabama when Sarkisian was there. Sarkisian leaves and Nick is struggling.
He won some championships before Sarkisian ever got there too. Now,
I get that, but he had another Lane was Lane the offensive coordinator or defense?
Lane was coordinator there. Bill O'Brien was the offensive coordinator. I mean, he
ain't gonna get to him. Oh God, they ship him back wherever he came from.
Where's Bill O'Brien at? Now they got the offense coordinator they got is the guy that was at Notre Dame last year.
You said what Bill O'Brien at?
Huh?
You said what Bill O'Brien at?
Yeah, where's Bill O'Brien now?
He effing up my New England Patriots offense.
Oh, he back with him now. And
I was offense coordinator.
The offense coordinator at Alabama now is the guy who's the offense coordinator at Notre Dame last year. I can't think of his name, but that's who the OC in Alabama now.
And I think Deion play Saturday night. I'm not.
Yeah, who they playing? UCLA.
UCLA. That's gonna be a pretty good game.
You know Chip Kelly. You know how Chip Kelly is. He's a petty joker, man. So they better not be want to get down a lot to UCLA because Chip Kelly ain't.
He's known to have a high-powered offense.
And not only that, he's also known to be a jerk. Chip Kelly. If they get down by a lot, Chip Kelly ain't gonna show no mercy.
I mean, there ain't no mercy rule, is it?
I agree, and at the end of the day, the game still got to be played. You never know what'll happen when they play the game.
You're right. As long as they don't have a meltdown like they did against Stanford, I don't even know what that was.
UCLA is not this juggernaut that people want to make them out to be. I think UCLA will beat Colorado, but I think that's going to be a competitive football game. I think that'll be one of those 35-28 type games.
Granted, if Coastal Carolina had a quarterback, I think they would have beat UCLA at the beginning of the year.
They were in that game for the first half. I watched that a little bit of it before I went to sleep.
I did too.
It
was a real close game.
The second game of the season, wasn't
it? Yeah.
I know you keep up Coastal Carolina because your wife is a Coastal Carolina alum, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I keep up with it. I don't think they're as good as they were the last couple of years, though.
No, they're not. I watched them when they lost to Georgia State. I watched Coastal Carolina's game against Georgia State earlier this year, and Georgia State just got physical with them, was able to pound them.
So, I mean, it's a rebuilding process. They had a good. I mean, that guy was decent.
Their coach left. Their coach left and went to Liberty.
Oh, that head coach that was there last year?
Yeah, he's at Liberty this year. Liberty's undefeated. Okay. Liberty's like ranked 25th, aren't
they? They were in the top 25 last week, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they're
25.
And they won last night, dude. Liberty Flames. R.I.P. Terry Falwell, former president and founder of Liberty.
Then now I think about Steph. Yeah, his Steph Curry brother did go to Liberty for a while, didn't
he? Yeah, but Seth Curry, he went to Liberty before he transferred to Duke.
Yeah, so shout out to them.
Liberty Flames.
Liberty Flames. I want to say it was another big top 10 game this week as far as college football.
I think so too, but I can't remember what it is, man.
I think that Georgia and Florida that's played. That's this week, and then it's
Georgia and Florida.
Yeah, that's this week.
Yeah,
and then I think next week is LSU and Alabama. If it's not this week,
okay.
I think it is next week. The LSU and Alabama game. I could be wrong, but I know it's getting close to it because they got to play.
Who the Ducks got this week?
We have not USC. I think we got Berkeley, Cal.
California. Yeah, killed California. Man, Washington State gave y'all a kind of a tough run for a little while.
Yeah. Well, both of Washington teams gave us a tough run. They got two good quarterbacks.
Yeah, but Coach Lambert blew that game against Washington a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
His ego got the best of him in that game. They blew that game. And Washington State,
Michael Penix, he played a hell of a game.
And then Washington almost lost to Arizona State last week.
Let me tell you something. Arizona State is not that bad. They just can't get over the hump.
Man, screw Arizona. Oh, my finger. I bite my
fix that. No problem. We'll fix that.
Screw Arizona State, man. They I didn't like the way they did Herm Edwards, man. So I got to bite my nail to them.
You hear that, TJ? We don't like Arizona State, but we like you.
So, yeah. Well, Mike's in grad school at Arizona State. So yeah, Mike, we don't like your Arizona. I don't like your Arizona State Sun Devils. What about that?
Sun Devils. Take that.
I know Chilltown like that. Chilltown's Arizona Wildcats. So hey, Chilltown, screw the Arizona State Sun Devils. I'm saying that for you, man, because you're Arizona Wildcats.
I think Colorado don't play Arizona. Yeah, they do. I think they do play Arizona this year. Arizona.
Okay. Well, Arizona's a basketball school, so nobody worry about Arizona football.
Yeah, they basketball. No offense, Chiz. They're just being honest. They just a basketball school. Then they got Oregon State and Utah, which I like Utah's chance to win the Pac-12 this year anyway.
Yeah, and that's all this is without Cam Rising, man. He's out for the season. They're going to shut him down completely. Cam Rising had the game this year, so Oregon with the style of Oregon's play, Brian Johnson, offensive coordinator, former Utah quarterback. He's implemented a physical, downhill, pro-style, smash-mouth style that Utah plays, and that style translates. And they're playing well even without Cam Rising. So Utah won the Pac-12 last year when they beat USC in the Pac-12 championship game. I would not be shocked if Utah won the Pac-12 again. Oregon Ducks will have something to say about it. The Washington Huskies will have something to say about it. But right now, the Utah Utes are the defending champions, and to beat a man, you got to do what?
You gotta beat the man. You gotta beat the man. You gotta beat the man. Shout out to Ric Flair coming back to wrestling again.
Yeah, he was on Dynamite last night. I didn't watch it, but I saw he was on Dynamite. He and Steve were on there doing whatever.
Christian K said, "You're one kick away."
Man, Ric Flair would do anything for $1, man. He'd do anything for $1, man.
He said, "You're one kick away from your defibrillator cutting off."
Oh, that's horrible, Christian.
He said Christian Cage.
You know, Edge is on there now. Well, Adam
Adam
Copeland,
Copeland.
who we knew for many years as Edge, he's on Dynamite and Rampage, Collision, and all that stuff now.
I'm still trying to get into the game because I got the game. I'm not quite. It ain't what I thought it was. I might just wasted.
Forever.
Yeah, I did get the.
Well, I heard it was kind of like on a low budget side of things.
It is, and and compared to 2K, WWE 2K is way.
Yeah, I heard that, man. I read reviews like, Fight Forever is kind of on the lower tier.
I put it like this: WrestleMania 2000 on N64 got more credibility.
I'm sure SmackDown Shut Your Mouth and SmackDown who Here Comes the Pain is probably better. But we're gonna go there.
That's one of my favorite games to SmackDown.
I love SmackDown Shut Your Mouth and SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. Those back in the day, wrestling games.
I still got that game somewhere in the house. I had to find it one day. It's in the case there.
Shut Your Mouth somewhere at my mom's house.
I still got the PlayStation.
It's mine somewhere at my mom's house.
I don't even know how these things work now. I'm so scared things might burn up all that disk by stealing it.
Yeah, man, you got to wipe it down. You got to be like Boosie and them. You got to wipe it down.
BOO PlayStation.
EADZAZ. That's me.
He said the old games are the best. They are. SmackDown, No Mercy.
Hey, TJ Prime, is that the guy that we know as TJ the Mad Dog?
No.
Okay.
No, not that.
Okay, that's not the same TJ. Okay, I got it.
I'll say this. I like SmackDown, first SmackDown 2, No Mercy for Nintendo 64, WCW Thunder, NWO Thunder.
What about WCW NWO World Tour? That was a good game.
I didn't play that one a lot.
WCW versus the World and all that too. I used to have WCW Nitro on PC. I like that game too.
Then they had Thunder too. WCW.
Yeah, Thunder. I never played Thunder, but I played Nitro on PC. I had it on that gateway.
Yeah, that what was the other one? WrestleMania 2000.
I used to always get Kurt Hennig, man. I always felt like I was perfect when I had Kurt Hennig. NWO music.
Yeah.
See, when you're NWO, you're NWO for life. For life.
I remember how many NWO factions was it? You had Virgil in their OG faction.
Yeah, well, Virgil was known as Vincent at that time.
Vincent.
Yeah.
And Ted DiBiase.
Yeah, and they had IRS, but he was Michael Wall Street when he was in there.
Mike Rotunda.
Yeah, Mike Rotunda was Michael Wall Street when he was in NWO.
Yeah, that's if people didn't know, that is Bray Wyatt's father.
And Bo Dallas's father.
Yeah, Bo Dallas's father.
And the son-in-law of Blackjack Mulligan and the brother-in-law of Barry and Kendall Windham.
Mm-hmm. So, and that's a little wrestling history if you guys didn't know.
Yep.
Throw that out there.
He was also a part of the Varsity Club with Kevin Sullivan and Rick Steiner.
They said check your phone if you can. Let me see. Hold on. What you sent me? What you sent me there? Oh, he got the game right there. He got SmackDown in the case.
Oh man, he threw it back quickly.
He went back quick. That's that. Hey, I got mine somewhere. It's in the case. I got to find it. I got remember I don't know if a lot of people don't remember Warzone on PlayStation.
WWF Warzone. I got that game, man.
Yeah, yeah, Warzone and In Your House. I think In Your House was a game too.
That's Super Nintendo, man.
Nintendo, yeah, In Your House. I got that
card.
That's
probably like Yokozuna and all them was still wrestling, man.
Yokozuna.
The Samoan guy who did Japanese.
But I ain't bought. I'm waiting for it to go on sale, but I'm gonna end up getting 2K23 though. The last one I bought was 21.
I still gotta get on. Yokozuna was an American Samoan, and they went on there and lied to me, went on my TV and wanted me to believe that guy was Japanese.
I thought it was for a long time.
I did too, but I think Yokozuna from Japan.
When Mr. Fuji walked out with that flag, I thought it was a sumo wrestler.
I thought it was Japanese. Well, like Muhammad Hassan is an American guy from like Maine or something like that. Or from New York or something like that. Muhammad Hassan is not Arab or anything like that. Muhammad Hassan is an Italian American white guy.
My camera go out.
No, I see you.
My camera look like it went out. Hold up, let me do this.
I see you, bro.
Oh, wait a minute. There it goes.
Why you take me off?
It kind of like it cut on my side, like it was like a thin line.
Well, it's a thin line between love and hate, man. So some of the people love you, some of them hate you.
You're right. You're absolutely right. It was just like a black screen on mine. I was like, where'd that go? I couldn't see
Black
myself.
is beautiful, man. Be proud.
I mean, I'm proud of being black.
I'm messing with you, man.
I
had
love
a
my
cousin,
skin.
God rest his soul, his name was Lorenzo Flowers. And you know what the song says, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Say it again, I'm brown skin. My cousin Lorenzo Flowers said, say it low, I'm black and I'm bold.
Well, look, hey, that's America.
Die living in America. This is on that James Brown tip right now. Every time I think James Brown, you know what I think of, right? That news interview when he was high as a kite.
Oh,
like,
he said, "Oh yeah, baby."
They're like, "Are you out on bail?" He's like, "I'm out on love." Like, you see that on TikTok, right? That interview with James Brown when he on cloud nine.
I'm on love. Rick James, cocaine's a hell of a drug. I mean,
man, they like not burying him, man. They were fighting over his estate.
Well, both of them, wasn't it?
Yeah, James Brown stayed 65 years old for a long time too, man. That dude was 65 years old for like 8 straight years. By the time he died, he was like 73, but he was like 65 for like 8 years in a row.
How he get to put the pause button on?
Huh?
Now, so how he get to put the pause button on?
I don't know, man, but that dude stayed 65. You remember Jonathan Stewart used to play for the Panthers? He was like 24 for 3 straight years.
Well, I think Morgan Freeman been 100 for like all my life, but that's none of business.
Even going back to Lean on Me.
Lean on Me. He was old. I don't know, man. Maybe this is his upbringing. He was just an old man.
Why did they not know the school's anthem?
Sims. You smoke crack, don't you? You smoke crack, don't you? Look at me, boy.
You know, the real Joe Clark just died a couple years ago.
Who?
The real Joe Clark just died like 2 years ago.
I seen it on Facebook. I want somebody put it up the other day. I'm like, I thought it
do. At the time that movie came out only like 2 years after that real stuff that happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Joe Clark was only like he was 82, but he just died a couple years ago.
Oh. And he is. I don't know how old Morgan Freeman is. He got to be 100.
He got to be in his 80s.
Shit, wasn't that Danny Glover? Danny Glover 80. Danny Glover 80.
Got to be by now.
Shit, Samuel Jackson should be about 70.
He in his 70s. He ain't no about 70. He's in his 70s.
Denzel
he ain't 71 either. I mean, he good in his 70s.
Denzel, I think he's 70. Maybe.
Denzel about 69, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Denzel not over the age.
No, he look young. That money make you feel young.
Hey man, money make a lot of things happen, man.
Gucci Mane said, "I put it on my skin."
What is up? Making love to the money. Hey
man, that was a good rap video, man. That's what they y'all know. But you can't look at it now because I think they pulled it off of everything.
Oh man.
Yeah, if you ever seen the video before,
I've seen it years ago, but I forgot it now, man. That was like 16 years ago.
It was up in Magic City. You know the rest.
I ain't making no comments about Magic City, but anyway.
Well, it was in Magic City. But all right. We had the hour and 8-minute mark.
What am I gonna do, man? What am I gonna do?
What am I gonna do? This is the decision. You know, and for the decision, I'm gonna let you have the floor.
All right. I'm sure most of you know if you follow me on Facebook, man, I have a dilemma. Tomorrow night, Anson Senior High School Bearcats take on the Forest Hill Yellow Jackets for the regular season finale and Anson's homecoming, and it's also Anson Senior night. At the same time, my college alma mater, the University of North Carolina at Charlotte, the Charlotte 49ers, are hosting the Florida Atlantic Owls on ESPN2 at Jerry Richardson Stadium. That game's at 7:30 p.m. Most of you know I typically go to Anson home games and I typically go to Charlotte 49er home games. And I'm only human. I can't be two places at one time. So I've spent the last few days contemplating, deciding which one I want to go to. The decision is not an easy one because I have nothing but love for both of them. Both schools, both institutions are dear to me. a lot of my molding and my upbringing came up in both of those places. I learned a lot about myself in both of those places. I went from a boy to a man at both of those places, and both of those places were key contributors to my maturation process. At the end of the day, I had to make a choice. The choice has been made. It was not easy, but I have made a decision, and that decision is on Friday, October 27th, 2023 AD. I'll be attending the football game at Anson Senior High School. I'll see y'all tomorrow at Bearcat
Stadium. And you heard it there first, people. He will be in the building tomorrow night. We will be in the building tomorrow night. We will be at Bearcat Stadium, homecoming 2023, senior night 2023. We'll be in. Hopefully, everything goes smooth. Everybody have a good turnout. And we'll see y'all tomorrow at the game, man.
Yes, sir.
Until next week's show, we will be back next week for the coaches show. One of my favorite segments. We can break down everything I want to break down. Because I like to hear from both of these guys at the end of the year, because two great people by a million miles. So, and we're definitely gonna get into the nitty gritty. So tune in next week. Will be 8:00. Yeah, I know the coach is gonna be real busy, but you know I'm glad they make time for us to come on the show. So
absolutely.
With that being said, we up out of here. Till next time. Peace.
No doubt.